Well, hello everybody! We got a little bit different change of pace in today's video. We are going to do a Q&A with Daddy Cornstar, Cooper, and me. So sit back, grab your popcorn, and enjoy.
Sometimes I flip the cover over because when I'm on this side, doing something, times I walk around the back, like, are you kidding me? It's off, and then I hit the button, then it says dead battery, and it's like, well, how long has that been off?
Alright, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm a dad. I started, what do you kind of want to know, I guess?
Give me your name.
Daddy Cornstar.
And what you do. Alright, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, all my YouTube friends and everybody that kind of knows me calls me Daddy Cornstar.
Hi, I'm Cooper, and I'm Cole's younger brother.
I'm Cole the Cornstar. I'm a 23-year-old farmer, gravedigger, and YouTuber, and I really like farming. How did you get started in farming?
I guess I've always been around it when I was younger. Dad would always pull me out of preschool because I never wanted to go or go to the babysitters. So then I always come with him and do stuff. And then, I don't know, just went from there. Started driving tractors when I was probably 6 or 7. And probably the first tractor I ran was our case tractor, and I was on the grain cart. And then slowly worked up from there to tillage, to combine, to spraying, to semis, and to where I am now.
Well, I was born in it, so something I've always been around.
When I was just a little boy, it was just me and Dad, so I always kind of tagged behind him. Probably when I was 5 years old, he started putting me in equipment and let me go out and run like a little 12-foot disc or rotary hoe. And then probably around 6 or 7, I actually started combining. And then as I was a little boy, my dad and my uncle actually had livestock. So then I took interest in the livestock also. So when I was probably in junior high, started getting my own sows, my own feeder pigs, and started raising them. When I was a senior in high school, I actually bought my first 80 acres of crop ground that hooked onto my dad's farm. So that was really exciting for me. And it's just kind of taken off from then. It was a father-son operation. We just always worked together and we kind of built it from there, and that is what we're doing now. I'm with my boys and we're looking on to trying to continue the farm on to try to keep it strong.
What's your favorite thing about farming? I really like the challenges involved with farming. It's something different every day. We do the same thing throughout the year, but yet we never have the same day back to back.
You're kind of your own boss out here. You gotta get things done, but you can kind of choose where you want to be that day, where you want to work. You kind of get to pick your schedule, your hours. Freedom, I guess.
Favorite thing is probably not everything's the same. Yeah, you have the same equipment every year usually, unless you upgrade, but each piece of equipment brings something new every year, something new breaks, so you're not always fixing the same thing. You're always fixing something different. For instance, like the 340, that oil filter took 5 or 6 hours, and it's a new tractor and you wouldn't expect that. So it's just stuff like that. It's always new and different.
If you were not able to farm, what would you do?
If I wasn't able to farm, what would I do? You know that, oh boy. I've never really known anything but farming, I guess. I honestly don't know what I would be doing. That is really, really a tough question.
If I wasn't able to farm, I'd most definitely not live in Iowa. I would move out of the states. I'd probably live in like Colorado or like somewhere where it's tropical. I don't know, I like it where it's warm.
I'd for sure be YouTubing. I don't know, maybe something with real estate? Like flipping properties or finding rundown properties, fixing them up. If you could change anything about the farm, what would you change?
I guess if I could change some things, I mean, a lot of our farms need some work for washout wise. It'd be nicer to have some fields that were a little more straight shot. You can get them done faster. But other than that, I think a bigger shop would be nice, but we have a nice shop. So I mean, there's nothing huge. We've done a lot of improving in the last few years. But I guess one thing would be is I think one thing that'd be cool to bring back if we could would be to bring Grandpa back so you could see what we've done in the past few years.
Come harvest time, the boys will probably say, Dad, we got this new combine. You should probably run it for a few days.
I would make the farm cleaner. It's came a long way, but we still have a long way to go. What's the biggest thing you've learned in the past year?
The biggest thing I probably learned in the last year is sitting back more, listening to people around me, like opening up my mind. I used to be more from the old school. This is how I did it year after year. I'm not really looking at changes.
I guess the biggest thing I've learned in the last couple of years is how much work it takes to run a farm. A lot of times it's been me and Dad lately doing stuff, and Cole's been in the office doing the videos, and you don't realize how much you do need a third person on certain jobs on the farm. So that's why we hired Sable. And yeah, I never really realized you needed to make the farm run efficiently. You needed at least, I would say, 3 people on our farm. So like in harvest, when we had a full crew, we were doing a lot more than what we would do with a half a crew. So the biggest thing I would say I've learned this year is having enough people to run a farm efficiently.
I've learned that it's not just about me, it's about a team. And if we want to be successful, we have to be able to build a team. How long have you been growing the mullet?
I've been growing the mullet for, this is probably 2.5 to 3 years, I think is what it is. I don't know the exact number on that, I never remember, but I think it's been 2 or 3 years.
Since your boys started taking over more major roles on the farm, what changes have you noticed?
I felt like a lot of the heavy pressure had been removed from me, meaning I don't feel like it's all leaning on my shoulders now, worrying about everything, the everyday pressures of the farm. Each one of us is kind of taking different points, or I know I can step back a little bit. Cole will take care of this area. Cooper's running around doing maintenance stuff, making sure equipment's up. Cole's watching the books, making sure everything's in order there. I'd just say it's just nice knowing that we're all into this together. It's our operation. On a daily basis, how much caffeine do you consume?
Surprisingly enough, none. I haven't had a pop in over 9 years. I don't drink coffee. I don't do energy drinks. I just have water. As a young farmer, what challenges do you face?
Challenges? Now that I'm getting older, the biggest ones used to be able to drive, because I wasn't old enough to drive at 16. And then 18, I wasn't able to drive semi, because you have to have your CDL. But other than that, maybe a little bit of respect, I would say, from people. Some things you say, I guess they don't, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes you don't get the respect you should. But other than that, I guess high school would be another big thing. Is school it's always in the way. I'm not a big school guy. I very dislike it. So when I can miss school, that's great. But I would say, yeah, school is a big thing too. It's always in my way. Trying to work around that. Teachers get upset when I don't have homework done because I tell them I'm busy doing other stuff, and they don't like that answer.
If someone was trying to get into farming, what advice would you give them?
To really buckle down. Don't let people try to talk you out if it's a dream you want. I know when I was young, I had some different people tell me like, oh, it's a dirty job. You don't want to do it. It's you know, let the people like to get dirty. I like to get dirty. Every job's got good and bad points. But the main thing is to just buckle down. If it's your dream, any kind of dream, whatever job it is, but farming, you got to go for it. Kind of, you know, it depends if you got family into farming. I've got friends that didn't have family into farming. They went places where maybe it was a guy going to retire in 5-10 years. They worked out a deal where they could be working with them to get their foot in the door. So, I don't know. To me, it's a neat honor you're feeding the world. What motivates you?
I like seeing change, and I like improving things. And so I look at life like a big set of challenges, and then I find things in those challenges that I want to make better. What are your goals for the farm?
A big goal is to make it where all three of us can live off of the farm, and be able to work together on the farm and not have it to where it splits apart. And there is some farmers that they don't get along with their son anymore or family, and they kind of split ways. So being able to stay with my dad and brother would be the biggest thing.
Do you think you'll ever retire from farming?
Most farmers never retire till their boots are sticking up in the air. No, right now I really don't plan on retiring. It's actually scary when I hear people talk about retirement. It's like I couldn't imagine not being out here on the farm, but sometimes due to health or reasons like that, sometimes a farmer has to retire. But, you know, I guess over time it'd be nice to be able to really do more stuff with Mama Cornstar and go off and do stuff with her. But, you know, if we get things set up good here on the farm, everything's good. But to actually just walk away and retire and not come out here on the farm, no, I can't really picture myself doing that. How many hours do you work in a normal week?
I don't know. I'd say, an average day for us is probably 12 hours at least on the farm. And then I throw in, I average about 5 a day on my computer. I'd say 15's not out of line. 15 to 18, just depends how much sleep I want to get. Are you ever going to start a YouTube channel?
I get asked this quite frequently. Am I going to start a YouTube channel? Yes, we're working on it. I can't think of a name, just need a name. But yes, maybe sometime soon we are going to start the channel.
What makes you a successful farmer?
I would say working hard, not giving up, even when the prices are down and sometimes things are negative. You just got to look like, hey, the farmers behind me, my dad and stuff, they've been in the same spot. You got to look forward because you're not going to get out of debt and stuff if you're not working hard. What was the question again, Cole?
What makes you a successful farmer?
I tell you, this is a lot trickier today being on the spot here, because usually when we're doing the videos, the questions come to our own head or what we're talking about is more natural. But to make a successful farmer, it's like anybody out here, just knowing that you are trying your hardest, that makes you a successful farming, no doubt, hands down. That as long as you're trying hard and giving it your all, no matter what, you're a successful farmer. What is a goal that you and me and the boys would like to try to work for Mama Cornstar?
I guess we'd like to be able to take Mama Cornstar on full-time staff here on the farm. Basically letting her kind of do whatever she wants. I mean, if she'd make us a meal or two, we'd be okay with that. But we'd like to let Mom be able to retire from her job and just kind of be able to enjoy life here on the farm. And if she wants to come out and run some equipment with us or ride with us or go do whatever, we just want to be able to open up that door of opportunity for her. You're one of the most well-known farmers on the planet. What does that mean to you?
In all honesty, nothing feels different at all. Some people say, what's it like to feel like you're famous? I don't feel that. Like the first time, I guess I had a picture that went viral and it felt pretty cool for a while. But other than that, you fit in just like anyone else. I don't feel above anyone else. I feel the same as I used to.
I feel exactly the same that I've always been, and it's really fun to me. Classmates and stuff watch me, and a lot of them say, Daddy Cornstar, you were exactly like you were when you were a kid or in high school or graduated from high school. That makes me feel good because I want to be who I've always been. I don't want to be somebody I don't want the camera to come on and me be a whole different person that people know me as, because it's not me. But it does make me feel really, really, really good when we're places, people come up, they give us a high five or come by and talk just for a minute. We love what you guys are doing. Keep up the great work. It's, inspiring us, or however you say the word, making us want to continue. So no, it's nice. But honestly, when people come up to me and say they look up to me, I always tell them, I am no different than you.
What do you think Grandpa Cornstar would think of the YouTube channel?
At first, I don't think he would have been much of a fan of it. But over time, I think he would have caught on to it just like we did. At first, it was a little weird, but now where it's at now, I feel like it'd be extremely weird without it. But I think he would have fun meeting some of the other YouTubers, farmers' dads, kind of like Bob Welker and Brian, Farm Video's dad. I think he would have got a kick out of it.
Well, everybody that knows Grandpa Cornstar, he was kind of a quiet guy. I mean, if he knew you and stuff, he talked, but he was usually kind of right to the point. And like even when I'd ask him a question or we'd be talking about something, sometimes he never really answered you back. And maybe 2-3 days later he'd come up and start answering something. And it's like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm answering the question for 2 or 3 days ago. Oh, I think at first he would have been like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Nobody's going to watch you. Probably had the same thought that I did. A lot of people would think of us as the messiest farmer in the world. And I think as he opened up his eyes and got to see the change of things, I think now if he came back, could come spend a week with us, he'd be like, holy cowboys. I know he even said it before he died. He goes, this stuff is your guys' stuff now. What goes on from this point on is going to reflect on you guys, not me anymore.
Does filming ever get in the way of getting work done?
Yeah, sometimes I get very irritated when I just need a wrench and Dad has to set up a camera, or Cole has to set up a camera of handing a wrench, or just stupid stuff that it could be done much faster, but we have to set a video camera up to video it. But most times it's not a big deal, but there is times where it's like, I just want to get this done and they got to grab the camera.
You know, at first it did kind of bother me. You know, it's something new, having a camera sitting there or thinking of moving the camera so you can kind of see what we're doing. But over time, for me, I watch the videos and it's like, if I would have put the camera over here, because I want everybody out there to see when we're working on something, not the camera way back there and I'm over here working, you can't see. I've watched a lot of videos sometimes. The person will speak a little bit and he sets the camera down and it's like, it doesn't even show what they did or anything. So over time now, I know the camera is getting better for me to move around stuff, but I just take that extra minute because I think for you as viewers and stuff, I want you to see what we're doing and stuff. But there's times too I take off in the morning like, I forgot the camera, I wish I had it. But there's times if I'm super busy or things, you know, I know it's okay to shut it down.
If someone were thinking about starting a YouTube channel, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to talk to my brother about that because I don't know anything about it.
I would say don't be scared to try it.
Do you guys actually get along in real life like you do on camera?
Yes, we do get along. Obviously you have the brotherly love where you don't always get along, but it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. But yeah, most times we get along. There is times where we do get in arguments. But I've slowly become bigger than Cole, so I'm not as scared of Cole anymore.
Man, this is making me sound terrible.
Is that good? We done?
Yeah.
I gotta go to school.
Notice how he says those fighting words and then he runs away? I'd still take him. Do you guys actually get along in real life like you do on camera?
We do. And, you know, there's times behind camera, you know, like the day I come in the shop here, there's been a lot of changes. Cole's moved everything around, he's rechanged. I'm not a big change person. If I set up a toolbox, it can be that way for the next 85 years. I don't care. I know where everything's at. My little junk piles I know I can dig through and find. So there's times behind camera, I'm sure Cole's caught me on camera like, oh man, Cole, what are you doing here? But I've even talked to Mama Cornstar about this. You know, I've talked to Cole a few times like, hey, you threw this away. I want to keep this. Then down deep, I even said to Mama Cornstar this morning, but I'm really proud that Cole and Cooper are caring about the farm. You know, they could just back in a piece of equipment and oil dripping all over. Who cares? We'll run it tomorrow. They are taking pride of that. So yeah, there's times I growl a little bit. I got to look for things, but it'll be like down the road here. I'll know where things are until Cole changes it again. So it's, but you know, it's one of the things. If you do kind of get a little growly for a few minutes to yourself, get over it quick. If I'm mad at Cooper or Cole for a little bit, I growl a little bit, I shake it off. You don't want to keep that every couple days. Cole, I'm mad you threw my good wrenches away. A month later, Cole, I'm still mad. It's no fun that way. You just gotta just gotta move on. And that's one thing with Sable out here too. We know she's running equipment, she's learning some of this stuff for the first time. Things happen. It's like, all right, it happened. Let's move on. That's how you learn from the mistakes.
Well, what'd you guys think? It was a little bit different change of pace, and you definitely got to see the more laid-back side of the Cornstars. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up to show your support, and leave me a comment down below to let me know what you think. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.